Well, hello everybody. Phil here from the Blue Envelope channel. I thought I'd do a little update on the real estate situation for Jehovah's Witnesses in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So a little while back I had talked about this on a video, I think titled something like Watchtower Secret Branch Complex, talking in there about how the society's always had production studios for American Sign Language video production, ASL, up at the branch in Paterson, New York. Now, around 2004, the governing body greenlit a major project for the ASL team, and that was to translate the entire Bible into ASL videos.
On October 26, 2004, approval was given to begin work on the translation of the Christian Greek scriptures into American Sign Language.
So they began on that, and by about 2010, they had the New Testament, the Greek scriptures, were translated. Now, after that point, the project team immediately switched to translating the Old Testament, the Hebrew scriptures. And so they were working on that. And somewhere along the way, the governing body decided that they didn't want to do the ASL translation at Paterson, New York anymore for some reason. And so it was that around March of 2014, they bought a property in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And this was going to be the RTO, the Remote Translation Office for the ASL Bible Project team.
Here in Fort Lauderdale, we have our team that works on translating the Bible and other publications from English to ASL.
So they bought this for about $1.95 million, and it was about a 12,000 square foot facility or property that housed both living space and workspace for the team.
So we went back to Wallkill, and after a few more years there, the brothers called us one day and asked us if we would be willing to transfer to the RTO, the Remote Translation Office in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where they translate into American Sign Language. And we were there for 5 years. This is a picture of the residence buildings there.
It looks very beautiful.
Now, a few years back, the organization decided that, hey, if we had even more workspace down there, we could get this Bible translation project done more quickly. Now, at this point, maybe it's helpful to throw a little numbers into the situation. Exactly how many witnesses in the U.S. use ASL? Well, fortunately for us, Watchtower spokesman Robert Hendricks has given some figures to the press. And what he tells us is that there's about 10,000 witnesses in the U.S. attending ASL congregations. Now, about 2,500 of those are actually deaf publishers. And then the other 3/4, about 7,500, are hearing witnesses that are working in the ASL field. And then just for a little context, there's about 1.2 million witnesses total in the United States. So about 0.2% of witnesses in the U.S. are deaf. Now, certainly for those witnesses that are deaf, having each additional book of the Bible translated into ASL would be pretty awesome. That said, in the grand scheme of things, you do kind of wonder in these days of tight budgets and limited donations for the organization, is it the best plan to make a large real estate purchase just so that the ASL Bible Project could be completed slightly ahead of schedule? Well, at any rate, that's what the organization decided to do. And so it was that in May of 2019, they bought a commercial property, another one in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The address for this one is 5300 North Federal Highway. It's an office building of about 10,000 square feet, and the society paid $2.875 million for this property. Now, unlike, say, their purchase of the property in Palm Coast, Florida, this building was actually in pretty decent shape when they bought it. We can see here some photos of how it was when they purchased it. But as the society usually does, they decided to go in and renovate it after they purchased it. And so here's a little paperwork detailing the renovation permit. And the renovation basically took the rest of the year there, and it wrapped up in the beginning of 2020. So we see here some photos of how it looked after the renovation. Definitely pretty nice in there. So the dedication program for this building was in February 15th of 2020, and the program was held at the Society's Convention Center in West Palm Beach, Florida, which seats about 6,000 people. Now, during the dedication program for the building, there was another landmark announced during one of the talks.
Well, we want to mention something to you.
something very special. You see, the team has been working on translating the Bible into sign language for 15 years. And today, this means with the release of the book of Job, the whole New World Translation is now completed.
So in essence, at this program, the society said in one talk, hey, our building is all ready for us to use. It is ready to go for this project. And then a few minutes later, another talk mentions, hey, guess what? The project that we bought this building for, it's all finished. All done. So this is very fun. And as you can imagine, really the only reason this building was purchased was to turn it around and sell it for a profit a little later down the road. And that's pretty much the case for all real estate transactions of the Watchtower Society. It's just usually not quite this glaringly obvious where the connection can be made in the same meeting session. And so now, wouldn't you know it, the ASL Bible translation team has been dissolved. That building is empty now. And look at that, it's up for sale now. So the society is asking $4.1 million for this building now, roughly $1 million more than what they have into it, depending how much they spend on the renovation. So at any rate, not too bad for 3 years. So, I mean, what you gonna do? As Jake from Altworldly likes to say sometimes, it's all silly.
You'll always remember Brother Hurt's talk, and a nice thought, smells ring bells.
Okay, well, that's pretty much all I have for this video. I wanted to keep it short and sweet. Be sure to subscribe for more updates on the Jehovah's Witness real estate group. Religion. All right, take care now.